Hello, welcome back to the Lingua Loom. Today we're going to start another episode of the semantic series, which is homonymy. Same words, completely different meaning, no connection whatsoever, language greatest coincidence. So before starting the topic, please do like, subscribe and share and do comment that it means a lot for us. So let's start. So the core idea is this: when two unrelated words crash into the same form. Well, imagine two completely separate words born in different languages, carrying entirely different meaning with no historical connection whatsoever. That through centuries of sound change and borrowing end up sounding and looking identical. That is homonymy. It is not semantic relationship between meaning, it is historical accident of form. Two separate words wearing the same costume. Well, let's look at this beautiful line, which is two separate words wearing the same costume. So let's start with what is homonymy. So homonymy occurs when two or more completely separate lexical items happen to share the same phonological form, which is the same sound, or the orthographic form, which is the same spelling. But his meanings are historically unrelated. There is no semantic connection between the meaning. They are distinct words, distinct words that have collided at the level of form through historical accident. So the word homonymy comes from Greek homos, which is same, and onoma, which is name. Same name, different things entirely. Think of it like two strangers who happen to have the same name, so it is exactly that. So homonymy is one of the most studied and most debated phenomena in lexical semantics because of the challenge it poses, which is how do speakers resolve which meaning is intended from among multiple unrelated possibilities, and how do we decide whether two senses are unrelated or historically connected. So this is the definition, which is homonymy is the relation that holds between two or more lexical items that share the same phonological or orthographic form, but are etymologically unrelated and semantically distinct. That is, they developed independent and their identical form is a historical coincidence. Well, we're looking at the types of homonymy now. Which first one is perfect homonyms. Identical in both sound and spelling. Well, perfect homonyms, or also called as full homonyms, are the purest form. Two words that are identical in pronunciation, identical in spellings, but different in meaning and origin. Well, surface property is shade, but meaning and history differs. For example, bank, which is financial institute, derived from Italian banca. Then bank, which is the edge of the river from Old Norse banki. Same spelling, same pronunciation, completely different etymologies. Etymology is origin of something. So, well, Urdu example is Khan. First one is ear, another one is mind. Ear is a part of the body. Then origin is Sanskrit. Then mine, which is underground excavation for minerals. Its etymology is Persian or Arabic. Then these are some of the other example. Bank, financial, and riverbank are not equal, not same. Then bat and bat, one is animal, the one is cricket. Then comes right and right. One is correct, another right is direction. All those same spellings, same sound, but different in meaning. Then bark, which is bark of tree. Then bark, dog sound, separate in meaning. Then fair, which is just, and fair market, also homonyms. Then in Urdu, par. Well, par proposition, then par is feather, wing. Then the third one is par, which is but or however conjunction. Let's move to the second type, which is homophones. Same sound, different spelling, heard the same, written differently. So homophones are the words that share the same pronunciation but different spelling and meaning. They sound identical when spoken but are written differently, which makes their distinct identity visually clear in writing. Though this provides no help in speech, homophones are the major source of spelling errors among learners and native speakers alike, precisely because the sound gives you no clue to which word or spelling is intended. So there are the rituals of wordplay in poetry and humor. English is particularly rich in homophones due to the enormous gap between spelling conventions and its current pronunciation. Two words that once sounded different may have converged in sound while retaining different spellings. So, Urdu example an. For first one can mean exact thing and waqt, then the other one is for eye, like part of the body. Here the Urdu English example, floor and flower. Same sound, but have different meanings. The night and night, right, see, there. Well, these are the examples for homophones, which are same sound but different spellings. Homonyms are same sound and same in meaning. Well, you can use a trick from here, which is phone. That sound is going to be same. Then let's move forward. The third type, which is homographs, same spelling, different sounds, written the same, pronounced differently. Well, homographs are the words that share the same spelling but differ in pronunciation and meaning. They look identical in writing, but the readers know the language knows to pronounce them differently depending on the context. English has particularly large number of homographs due to the complexity and inconsistency of Urdu English orthography. The same letter combination can represent different pronunciations, depending on the word's origin and grammatical function. So, homographs are essentially important for reading comprehension. A system that reads text aloud must resolve homograph pronunciation before speaking, which requires semantic understanding, not just phonological knowledge. Well, let's look at the English example, which is ilm. So it can be read ilm, which is knowledge, science. Then alam. Alam means flag or banner. Well, different vowels and different meaning and different pronunciation. Now let's look at the English example. Lad. One is metal, and this one is lead. Lad and lead. This one is guide. Then tears and tear. This tear means to rip apart. Then wind and wind. Then row and row. Then read and read. Well, let's move forward. One word, multiple lives. Well, let's look at this. First one, bank is already selected, so let's do it from here. Financial institution, a place that holds deposit, make loans, and facilitates transaction. So the word entered English via Old French bank from Italian banca, meaning a moneylender's bench. Let's move a bank river. Say it is the raised ground along the sides of the river, stream, or lake, completely unrelated to financial meaning. This word entered English from Old Norse banki. Then bank aviation, to tilt sideways during a turn, used of aircraft and motorcycles. The plane banked left. This sense may be related to the geographical bank sense, making this possibly polysemy rather than homonyms. Well, this is a debate for linguists about this term. Then we'll look at another one, which is bat. You can check out the meanings also if you want to. First, bat, animal, mammal. This word come Middle English, back, which may derive from Old Norse. This word, what to pronounce? Well, we'll take a leather flapper, or Old Swedish word. This one, natbaka. The exact origin is debated. Then comes bat, cricket bat. Well, a wooden tool that is used to hit the ball or baseball or similar sport. Then bat, eyelashes. She batted her eyelashes. To bat, to flutter rapidly. So this word may derive from the same root as sports bat, to beat. Now let's look at fair. Fair, first one is just, which is following the rules. Then the second one is fair, a festival. Then the third one is light colored in complexion. You can just see the meanings from here and pause and read the complete ones. Then comes the bark, the tough outer layer covering of the tree trunk and branches. So the word entered English through Scandinavian influence. Now the second one is dog bark. And the third one is bark, small word, a bark at sea. A poetic word for a small sailing vessel. From Old French bark, from Latin barca, used in literally English and found mostly in poetry. Then right. First one, this one is for direction. Second one is correct. If someone is accurate, so you're right. So that's what that. And then right, entailment, human rights, a claim or entitlement given to a person or a group of people. Then this is for con, that we have already discussed, and bar we have already seen it above. Then first let's look at the homonymy versus polysemy distinction. So this is one of the most debated distinction in lexical semantics. So let's look at it. Homonymy. Additional, same form, different histories. Well, whereas polysemy is one word, related meanings, connected history. So homonymy is two or more separate words that happen to have the same form, their meaning developed independently. There is no semantic connection between them. The identity of form is historical accident. Etymological test is, do the two meaning have different historical origin? If yes, likely homonymy. Connection test is, can you trace a meaningful conceptual link between the two senses? If no, then it's homonymy. The example of bank, same the river, and one is financial. No historical connection, different meanings. Then polysemy, one word whose meaning has extended over time through metaphor, specialization, or generalization to cover related senses. All meanings share a common origin and traceable conceptual link. Etymology test is, do the two meanings share the same historical origin? If yes, it's likely polysemy. Connection test is, can you trace a meaningful conceptual link between the senses? If yes, then it's polysemy. Head part of the body, then head of the company, same origin. So the honest caveat is, in practice, the line between homonymy and polysemy is not always sharp. Etymological records are incomplete. Connections can be argued either way. Linguists sometimes disagree, and that disagreement is itself linguistically interesting. The diagnostic question is always, is there a traceable semantic connection between the meanings? Well, this is the question that distinguishes between the two. So let's move forward, which is context resolve everything. If homonymy creates ambiguity, the same form with unrelated meaning, how do speakers even understand each other? The answer is context. Well, context is everything. Linguistic context, situational context, and word knowledge altogether allow speaker to resolve homonymic ambiguity almost instantly and effortlessly in real communication. As you can see, she sat in the bank and watched the water flow. So this is about river bank. Then financial bank, she walked into the bank and deposited her salary. You can pause and read these details from here. Then the bat flew. In the darkness, a bat swooped past her head silently. Well, these are the examples for you to better understand. Then batting average. His bat connected perfectly and the ball sailed over the boundary. And turned right at the junction, she turned right and found the street. Whereas the one is, after reviewing the evidence, the judge said he was right. Well, this shows that different, well, they're same in sound and spellings, but it is the context that determines that their meanings are different. So how homonyms are born? Well, it is always historical event. Two words converge over the century, like bank, as we have discussed it earlier. Then flower and floor. Then lead and lead. Khan, which is of Urdu. Homonymy in Urdu. Well, let's look at these examples. First one, Khan, we have already discussed the ear and mind. Par, already discussed wing, then preposition and conjunction. Then gul. First one is new, gul. First one is flower, rose. Is Persian. Then to extinguish or go out, gul hona. Then cheek, it is gul, your cheeks. Then dum. First one is breathe, life force, Persian, then movement and or instant, then a small coin, very low value. Other ones are tar, which is war. The second in meaning is telegram. And other one is star. Another example is shah, branch of the tree. Another example is branch of the organization and horn of an animal. These three are different in meanings that depends on how you use in different situations. Homonymy and the heart of a pun. Pun are the most direct exploitation of homonymy in language. A pun works by deliberately activating two unrelated meanings of the same word simultaneously, forcing the listener to hold both meanings at once and see the connection. Linguists call this deliberate ambiguity exploitation. So let's look at So this is the example. I used to hate facial hair, but then it grew on me. And also let's look at it. This is the homonymy is grew on me. Facial hair literally grows on one's face, and grew on me is an idiom meaning I started to like it. The pun activates both meanings simultaneously, creating a comic incongruity. Then there's another one which is time flies like an array, fruit flies like a banana. So the word flies in the second sentence switches from verb to noun. The word like shifts from comparison to enjoy eating. A classic exploitation, multiple homonymic readings. Another one is I'm reading a book about anti-gravity. It is impossible to put down. So put down literally place a book face down, an idiom meaning to stop reading something. Anti-gravity makes things literally impossible to put down. The pun collapses the literal idiomatic meaning, perfect homonymic exploitation. So this is shows that how puns are created using homonyms. Then homonyms in other languages. So these are the examples from other languages. You can pause and read it. I'm just going to give an overview. The first one is from German, say, they. Say, masculine, then feminine, this sound. Two completely separate words, different genders, different, well, meanings and identical forms. Well, in English, only sound and spelling were playing a part, but here in German, gender is playing a part too in determining homonyms. Then in French, etymological distinctions. And Japanese, the three words share the same form, hashi, in spoken Japanese, which chopstick, bridge, edge, distinguished by pitch accent in standard Japanese, but can only be homonymous in some dialects. Well, it shows that the stress is something which determines the difference between the two, between the three, well, among the three. Well, this is a Spanish example, llama, the South American animal. Well, another example is flame, another meaning is he, she. Three unrelated meaning in the same form. Then Arabic an, as in oi, body part. Then spring, source of water. Then letter O, and name of the letter. Then Turkish, kir, countryside, open field, grayish color, two separate words that happen to share the same form. Well, let's look at the end. Let's conclude the topic, which is homonymy is language greatest reminder that form and meaning are arbitrary. The same sound shapes can be attached to completely unrelated concept, and only history explains why. Well, this is it for today. I hope you understand it. It's not that much difficult. Only the concepts are something that should be kept in mind to completely understand them and never forget them. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you like it. Please do like, comment, and share. Have a good day.